All you gotta do is hush, you ain't gotta say much when you make that right connection. If you wanna double up, keep the money in the tuck, I can put you in the right direction. I can never get enough, all I got is us, I speak the true confessions. Everything goes smooth cause I stay on the move and make them right connections. All you gotta do is hush, you ain't gotta say much when you make them right connections. If you wanna double up, keep the money in the tuck, I can put you in the right direction. I can never get enough, all I got is us, I speak the true confession. Everything goes smooth cause I stay on the move and make them right connections. You ain't gotta do much, I ain't gotta do is us when you make them right connections. You already know the vibe, man. It's your boy Big Wall right here. And y'all know when I see Cari next to me, y'all know the vibes. We are here to make the cultures connect. What's going on with you, Cari, baby?
What's going on in the kitchen, Big Wall?
You already know the vibes, man. Shouts out to the culture gang in the building. Appreciate y'all being in the building, man. Out the gate. What's going on with you?
What is going on? Already out the gate. Hey, Culture London. Thank you for coming on. She is such a wonderful supporter. She is. And I love, like, we have a few viewers that always come on our shows and always comment and things like that. And I love it. It's just so nice to have them here. Also, happy first day of I was going to say spring. It's twice today. Summer. Summer is here.
And look, it felt like it. You know what I'm talking about? It felt like it. It has been hot everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Summer that came in with full vengeance. You know what I'm saying? It was super hot. It was super hot.
Yeah.
What's the weather like over there in Canada? Over there now, Calgary. How's the weather?
Okay, hold on. Let me transfer it over to the Fahrenheit because I do Celsius because that's what we have. So let me just switch over. 66 degrees here.
66.
Yeah.
66. It was 91 degrees here. 91. It felt like 100. You know what I'm talking about? Felt like 100.
Yeah, you guys had a heat wave in a couple of spots in the States. So, thank you, London. But it was a little warmer earlier today. Like it was probably around like 73, 75 a little earlier. And then now, because it's 9 o'clock here in the evening, it's cooling off a bit. So that's usually, and it's cloudy as well. And we had like a tiny bit of rain off and on. So it wasn't like, it's been a really beautiful day. Actually, I can't complain at all. So yeah.
Well, it's been steaming. It's been steaming these parts. You know what I'm saying? Head down here in the States, it's been steaming. It's been smoking. But besides the weather, what's been going on in the world of Cari, man? I know you're doing so many amazing things with your platform, Underground Radio C and everything. Talk to me, man. What's been going on?
Man, I have to give a shout out to all of my listeners and my audience from our last show. We got over 108,000 people that did tune in to Saturday. So I'm loving the support, and it's been really good because I do have on like local businesses or, some other businesses that do come on more on that show than we kind of do on this show. So it's been really nice to be able to get their names out there and be able to give them, just that extra support and be able to give them that little extra audience because, as you know, it's very hard for smaller businesses to advertise. And sometimes just regular social media and your Facebook and things like that's a little bit harder to be able to be like, hey, here's my business, this is what I do. And then they're putting, their Facebook ads up here and whatever. I mean, that works, but maybe they don't get that reach of like 108,000 people in less than an hour. It's really nice for advertising, right? Instead of just, and like the same with our other shows, we've been getting some good numbers on there, and it's been really nice to be able to give them that whole platform and be able to be like, here, you guys deserve an audience of having so many people be able to be like, okay, this is great. And so it's been really nice to be able to have that. So it's been busy with that and just like shows after show after show after show. It's been crazy. This Saturday, though, I do have to say I'm going to like my nephew's grad party, so I won't actually have a show. So as well, Cari is like, sorry, y'all, I'm melting, but it's a mild, beautiful day here.
Yeah,
sorry, not sorry. But the thing is, going back to the weather real quick, when we get hot weather, it doesn't last. Like you guys get it the whole summer. like we'll get it off and on through summer, but then we get like the Indian summers in the like September, October. It'll be hot, and then it's oh, well, then there goes summer in like a couple weeks. It's gone. So that's kind of like downfall. But anyway, but yeah, other than that, like yeah, the shows have been going good. They've been steady and lots of interesting guests on, and it's been fun. And just like I've been trying to also get a couple other artists on for our shower studios because I want some more performers coming on here because we have a little bit of a bigger audience on this one. I don't know if it's because it's the Tuesday night, everyone's sort of sitting in.
Saturday night, you know why. You know what I'm talking about? It's just undeniable. You know what I'm talking about? It's just undeniable.
Well, and then Fridays, this is like Friday for you too. Like people are going out now, right? Like it's like dinner, movie, it's date night, it's whatever. So Fridays and Saturdays, it's harder to juggle those nights. But some I was totally surprised having 108 whatever last week, and I was like, okay, well that's good for a Saturday night considering it is coming to be summer. So it's pretty cool. And then also we have just gonna throw it out there, next weekend is our Canada Day, and then you guys have an Independence Day right after. It's like the whole parties are gonna be coming up here really quick. So and so well, thank you, Leslie. That's very nice of you. Yeah, it is. It is a lot of work. Like both Big Wall and I can say, like running these shows, it's a lot of work. You know, the guests sort of come to us because it's word of mouth, and a lot of people are interested coming on, which is wonderful, and we love that. But it's like making sure that everything's on time, making sure that our guests are checked in properly, making sure the promo out there. The promo is the biggest thing too. Like we can't stress that enough. But also our guest on tonight, he's into the business side too of things. So he can kind of dig into more on the details about what it's like on kind of the other end of the industry. We're kind of like the front end, and then the artists are kind of like the middle, and then he's kind of like the back end, but he's actually like a bigger end, which is,
Look, we just gonna call him the plug. You know what I'm talking about? We talk about just being one of those people who continue to add to the culture. You know what I mean? Just across the board. He worked with so many heavy hitters. You know what I mean? And we kind of, it's dope to have him on the show to give us some insight on the industry and everything. You know what I mean? So we're not even gonna hold it up. We're not gonna hold it up no longer, man. We're gonna bring in our guests. You know what I mean? So let him tell his own story. You know what I mean? And let us know how he feel about the industry and everything. Mr. Andre Williams. What's going on with you, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Blessed to be
welcome to the show. Yes, thank you for coming on and having your time with us. It's really amazing of you to be here and be able to share. Like anyone's time to us is well appreciated, and we know it's very hard to be able to come away from your work sometimes and to be able to be on shows and interviews. So we are very grateful for your time this evening. So thank you, first of all.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We appreciate it, man. Like you're a heavy hitter in the game, man. Like you done so much in a short amount of time. Like you consider the OG. It's because you done so much, but you ain't really been in the game that long, but you done so much, man. You just getting started, man. It's super dope to have you on the platform, man.
Man, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Come on, man. You gonna get your flowers today, Dre. You know what I'm talking about? That's a fact, bro. So can you kind of like, before we get into your story, kind of tell the audience who you're working with today currently and some of the moves that you've been making in the industry as of recently?
Well, right now I'm working by myself. I've been blessed to have my own distribution company through Sony and KMG. It's called the Stash House. And I've been working the labels for predominantly all my career, but unfortunately, I don't say this as a bad thing. I say this as a blessing. Like I close the door on so many artists because when you're with a bigger label, it's a criteria that needs to be met, and a lot of these artists think it's just about talent. Unfortunately, that's not what it is. But I wanted to do distribution because I wanted to work with independent artists, and I wanted to have a symbiotic relationship with them and show them how to. I didn't want to judge their music. I wanted to put their music out and let the world judge it, right? Because I think that's what's supposed to happen. So, that's what I'm doing right now. Like, again, been blessed to have a situation. So I'm working independently, have my own distribution deal, and it's been going very, very well.
Yeah, that's dope, man. It's all about self-made, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Especially after you've been through the industry and helped so many artists, to the point where now you got your own imprint, man. Let's kind of take it to the beginning. You know what I'm saying? How did you first get into the industry where you knew that this was something that you wanted to pursue and it was something that you was good at as far as everything that you do?
Oh man, like I didn't choose music. Music chose me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Jamaica originally, and my dad, Trevor Mathis and Leonard Williams, they actually played the talking drums for Bob Marley. And we came to America when he passed, and I didn't want to do music because I saw how my mom and dad broke up because of that. I saw how, musicians, you get booked, you get paid, you put stress in our household. So I was like, man, I don't want to do music. And my dad, he bought me an Apple computer, and he gave it to me one day. He said, start working on it because one day technology and music, they're going to mesh. Nobody's really doing this now, but it's going to happen. And at the time, I was like, man, I'm not doing this. But he showed me. So I actually was one of the first people to start working on Apple engineering because people were using Microsoft in the beginning, remember? Because Microsoft, that was prevalent, but they start catching viruses. Mm-hmm. So that's why people went over to Apple laptops. So, yeah, man, I didn't want to do it. Went and played football in college. True story. I'm sitting at a bar my junior year, and a guy starts talking to me about music. I'm going back and forth with him. I'm telling him he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's telling me different things, and come to find out, this guy, they just hired him. They hired him to be the music implementation manager for Microsoft. So they hired him to bring awareness to Microsoft for music. And I'm telling him he doesn't know what he's doing. But he thought that Microsoft hired me to sit at the bar and try him.
Oh.
So I was like, dude, I'm in college right here. I got a game tomorrow. So I gave him some tickets. He came to the game. He saw me play. He was like, you really in college? I was like, yeah. He offered me a job on the spot. And I was like, man, like I said, again, I'm from Jamaica. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, so I didn't accept it. Senior year, I don't know why, I kept the business card. I called him. I was like, this dude's not going to remember me. And when I called him on the first ring, he picked up and he said, Andre. And he's like, listen, I offer you a job right now. Let's go.
So he remembered your name.
He remembered my name. He remembered everything. He offered me
it's probably because he got to watch him play football, and he's an amazing player and stood out. He's like, I got to call this guy back because he's a superstar, obviously.
Right.
And like that's something you don't forget. The fact that he thought you was playing with him, you thought he was playing with you, then he go to your game. Like that's an experience. Like that's a movie.
Yeah, man. He offered me a job on the spot, man, and I took it the second time around. So that wound up being my introduction, working with Microsoft, but doing the meat and bones of it further down the line. I got to work with one of my good friends, Ray Daniels, who's now the VP of Warner, and he had a company called raYdar, and we worked at raYdar for 2 years. We won BMI ASCAP Management Company of the Year, which opened up the doors for us with Epic Records and several artists that we had, and we took off running from there.
Okay, so what's raYdar?
raYdar was a management company at the time. It's now still functional, but again, it kind of what happened. All the artists that we had on the raYdar, it kind of got absorbed by Epic Records, and that was our first stint as A&Rs, junior A&Rs, et cetera, and then we began to get into the executive side from that end.
Okay, yeah. You just don't know these days. And businesses fold so fast too when there's not enough interest in it, especially like when it comes to the music industry. I find like there's not enough interest in how it goes. Artists in particular, a label can fold so quickly, and then the management just sort of follows. So, we want to have anyone that's, I know there's artists listening right now. So if an artist is looking for a label or management, what would you recommend to them to look for?
Two separate things. Like for a label, they have to understand that not every label looks for the same things. Some artists would come to me, like I had an investor talk to me about an artist, and he's like, well, he doesn't have 100,000 streams. And the first artist I ever signed to Epic had 5,000, followers on Instagram. The first artist I ever signed only had 5,000 followers on Instagram.
So that's like you and I, Big Wall.
Yeah.
So and also you have to understand what kind of deal you have. They will sign you to a social media deal. They will sign you to a marketing deal. They will sign you to a record deal. It depends on just different aspects. So you have to educate yourself and find out what kind of deal. I always say it's not about signing a deal. It's about signing the right deal. I am a firm believer that you don't sign a bad deal. If I go into a business and I want to buy a car and I have my mindset on the amount and I say, hey, I want to buy this BMW and I have $50,000. And then you say, I have this 2023 BMW that's coming out to $65,000. I talk you into it and you agree and you sign the paperwork, then you agree to the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make you do it. So 7 months down the line, you can't come back and say, you made me, this was a bad deal. No, we went over it together. Now you can outgrow a deal. And in that case, then you have to go back and then you have to redo it, right? So it's never, to me, it's not no such thing as a bad deal. It's always, you have to find the right situation because you have to agree to it unless somebody literally, which is in the music industry, it's happened before, but unless somebody puts a gun to your head. Second thing, when it comes to management, you have to get, you have to have the ball rolling. My job as a manager is to take the things that you have, the momentum that you have, and take that stress off of you so I can run it and operate it correctly. It's not to get you shows. That's a booking agent. A booking agent gets you shows.
Yeah.
It's not to make you money. Your name and your fan base makes you money. I'm supposed to come in when you have things, I can organize them and I can make sure that I'm doing things or I can add to your name. And I think a lot of artists don't understand that. They think a manager's supposed to come in, pay their bills, set up everything, get them business. No. If I can't eat, I only eat when you eat. And it's only 20% sometimes 15%. So if that's the case, I need to get a bigger percentage. So your manager has to be able to make sure that he has everything structured and organized to take the load off you when it comes to the business aspect so you can do what you do best, which is focus on the music.
That's dope, man. Coming through dropping jewels all over the culture, man. Like we really need that. And you being an industry insider, you know what I mean? We kind of really want to dig into your psyche because a lot of people have a false narrative of what it actually takes to really get into the music industry and sustain. You know what I mean? Shouts out to the networking queen, the management team. She's super dope. You already know. And we talk about. She told me that you're her mentor. You know what I'm saying? And I know how much of a beast she is. You know what I mean? So it takes a beast to make a beast. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm flattered that she said that because I don't like the mentor word, but she does her thing. She's major.
She looks up to you. Like she's told me so many great things. She's like, I really look up to Andre. He's like this amazing guy, and we talk almost every day. And I was like, that's good. Like, bless out to both of you, really.
It's super dope. You know what I mean? So when we talk about a team, man, how important is to have a team that can really generate what you need as an artist? Or do you think in 2022 that you really don't need a team because of social media is so much more access as it is now as it once was? What do you think about when we talk about having a dope team around an artist?
No, I think it takes a family to raise, to install certain things. It takes a village to raise a family. What they say, raise a child, and the same thing. You need a team in this music industry because now with technology, as I stated, music technology, social media, with marketing, with so many other things, it is very important. But you have to make sure you have a trustworthy team to make sure that your business is functioning correctly. And I always say this to people, just because you're an independent artist, when people say, hey, look, I'm independent, or this person broke independent. What a lot of people don't realize is that you might be an independent artist, but the team around the independent artist that you see, um, pick one, anyone. You have one of the biggest independent artists in Chicago right now, but his team have label experience. They've all worked at a label before,
and access.
So he's not getting, so he's not getting any. It's not his sister. It's not his brother. I mean, he might have put them on afterwards, right? But his executive structure, his foundation is with people that have had experience, so they can guide him correctly and help him get on that path. So that's very important. You know what I'm saying? You are your brand. What I always tell people is treat yourself like your Apple, right? No, you might not be, but treat yourself like your Apple. Apple's going to do everything correctly. They're going to roll out correct. They're going to roll out and make sure everything is organized. They're going to make sure everything is structured. They're going to make sure that their I's are dotted, their T's are crossed. So you have to run your ship accordingly, because it's still a business. And the people in this business that are winning, the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, the 50 Cents, the Kendrick Lamar's, the Dr. Dre's. So these are all people that have understand music, but now are business people as well.
That's dope. It takes one to navigate to get to the next step. So if you're an artist, because I want to tap into your executive hat, Andre. If you're an artist coming up, you know what I'm saying, just say, I got some dope music, you know what I'm saying? I got a little budget, and we're gonna talk about that too, on how important having a budget is 2022. But okay, just say, I got a nice little budget. Tell me the 5 things that I would need beyond the music and the budget to make it in the game. Top 5 things that I'm gonna need.
I mean, that's a trick question, because every artist is different. I can't say the top 5 things, because you might be a rock artist or R&B artist or neo soul artist or Afro pop. So it's going to be different for every genre. And then within that genre, it might be different. So while I might break differently, the same path that the path that I have is not going to be the same path for you. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't really give you a top 5. That's not me getting out of that. That's me being honest. Anybody that says if you do this, and this correctly, that's not true. Because every artist that you've known has broke in a different way. No artist has. I mean, if that's the case, then guess what? We'd have the antidote, and everybody be taking it, and everybody would be breaking, but we don't. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think artist development is something that we need more in the industry now? Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yes. I would say knowledge too of their specific genre, because I know a lot of upcoming hip hop and rap artists, and it's like, go and ask them a simple question of like, where did it originate from? You'll never hear Atlanta, and you won't hear like any of like Boston or New York, any of those at all. They're like, oh, well, I heard it in the club, or I heard it on the radio. And it's like, I don't see enough of the history and the knowledge for these younger kids coming up at all.
Yeah, well, that's because now they're on the internet, so they're drawing it from so many different places that they don't understand the origin, because there's so many branches right now, right? Yeah. So they can say, you got to like peel back. Unless you peel back everything, then you're going to get to the origin. But now they see so many things that they're like, okay, this person did it first. Because we're more older, we're more mature, we remember that, oh, this wasn't the first person that did this. Like, this is a remix. I heard this when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Like, no, this person did it first. No, he didn't do it first. This is a remix. You know what I'm saying? So that's only because we have the knowledge and we understand the path. And these kids don't. Some of them, it takes the truly special ones to really sit back and be like, I'm a music connoisseur, and I'm going to start listening to and it's crazy because history repeats itself. That's what people are doing now. They're going back to grab ideas because they're out of ideas, and that's why we have so many of these people remaking older songs now. You know, they're taking the oldies but goodies and then remixing them and making it their own, right?
Yeah.
So
what do you feel?
No. Kind of spin a block with the artist development, because I want to kind of tap in there and see your viewpoint on that.
Yeah, I think there's a need for artist development. The question is, does the artist feel like there's need for artist development? Because in order to develop an artist these days, The artist has to be able to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. I remember I had a meeting with L.A. Reid one time when I was at Epic. I was junior A&R, and he said, "You know, the number one thing that you need to sign the artist," and I named like 10 things, and this went on the whole day. And he was at the end of the day, he said the artist has to listen. And right now, that's what's missing because you have so many artists that want to show the individuality, and they think that because they see on the internet that people are making it in a specific way, they feel like if this person made it this way in this lane, I can definitely do it. But they don't see the hardships that person goes through. And the real professionals, they go through artist developments. The greats, they're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're going through things. They got vocal coaches still. They're going to practices. They're swimming and expanding their lungs. They're dancing every day. They're taking care of their bodies. They're eating right. All those things are developing yourself to be a better artist. It's not just waking up and, understanding cadences, rhymes, analogies, metaphors, things of that nature, studying old school hip hop. When you're a rap, so you can understand different flows, how people, how flows evolve. That's artist studying. That's artist development as well. Yes, I think it's needed, and actually, I think the ones that you're seeing that are doing it, like the great ones right now, they actually are developed because they understand that the teacher is always the student, right? You never stop learning, especially in the music industry.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's super dope. Right? Like it definitely gives an insight on the industry just as a whole. You know what I mean? I kind of brought up the budget talk. I want to kind of tap into that as well in today's industry. How important are budgets? You know what I mean? Or is it a situation where you still can get a deal based off of your talent, just like the Temptations with Motown? You know what I'm saying? Or the size of your budget dictate the size of your star?
No, I think you can still get a deal if you're talented, but you got to be. Everybody's doing. I mean, there's so many platforms these days. Like, it's not before where you said the Jackson 5, right?
Right. Them too.
Then it's different. It's different because then, I mean, if you think about it's kind of like a basketball player, right? Like, people, and I'm pretty sure Cari knows people that you're like, man, this guy was good enough to go pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the world doesn't know because they've never seen it. But the internet and social media has opened up us to so many different things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to digress, but you need a budget because when you're an independent artist, this is your business, and you don't ever start a business without investing something.
Right.
I don't know. The reason why it's different in music is because people think that their talent is the investment. No, you're not. If you're a firefighter, you're supposed to put out fires. If you're a police officer, something happens, you're supposed to stop crime. And you're an artist, you're supposed to sing and rap. What happens is when you're an artist, the value is when I look at it and I see there's value in your stuff. Not me as myself, but as your demographic or as your fan base, right? If I paint a picture and you don't see any value in it, you're not going to purchase that picture. So a budget is needed because you are a startup. This is your business. There's certain things that you need these days, like social media marketing. There's certain things that you need these days, like streaming and digital marketing. There's certain things that you need, like sometimes artists just go straight for videos. Your wardrobe, the way you take care of yourself. You're investing in yourself. Are there labels out there that still sign artists based on talent? Yes, there are. But you got to make sure your ducks in a row and you're super dope. And it don't matter if your mama think you dope. The world got to think you dope.
What you say? Mama don't count?
Your mama don't count. Your mama's supposed to think you dope. That don't matter. You know what I'm saying? The world has to, and that's why they ask usually, what are your numbers? It's not because they want to see what everybody thinks about your music so that they can have an understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's too often that upcoming artists, they just think that they can go in and be like, okay, here's my music. But there's no brand to it, if you will. Like you said, it is the clothes. It is what you represent. It's what you kind of bring to the table. Excuse me. That all is in like the brand, right? So when you have a label, the label is its brand itself, and you want to choose an artist that's going to be representing that label, you need to make damn well sure that that artist is going to live up to that name. Because otherwise, these younger artists and kids coming up, they won't make it. They won't make it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm watching some of the things. London Paris said,
Yeah.
Steve Harvey told a story. He said, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But Steve Harvey sacrificed for his passion, though.
It is a sacrifice.
He sacrificed for that. We're talking about, again, he had talent, and you can get drafted, and we see all the time in the NBA and in the NFL, you get drafted because you're top 10 talent, but hard work and perseverance is what allows you to survive. Yes, he did that, but he worked hard to get where he's at, right? So that pays off, and somebody sees that, and they see that you're working hard, they see that talent in you, they see that you have that drive and that work ethic. Then you're thinking about people that are willing to invest with you and help you grow to achieve your goal.
Yeah, 100%. Going back to, because we've got a whole list of artists, and I know like a lot of your interviews you've talked about, okay, everyone always brings up the artists that you work with. Chris Brown, Rihanna, all these big huge
Eagles, 2 Chainz, you know what I'm saying? Lil Baby. We gonna keep the list going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
How can an artist coming up even get to be on that same level as those artists?
Yeah.
Well, I think number one is understanding how to create their fan base. I mean, every one of those artists, they have one thing. They had a fan base. Once an artist has a fan base, that's it. Nobody can tell you anything, right? If you have 100 loyal followers that spend $10 on you, that's $1,000. If you do that 4 times a week, that means you can make 4,000. 4,000 times 12 is 48,000. You can live off of that, right? Mm-hmm. I say that to say that your fan base is what keeps you afloat. So if you're an artist, I don't think our artists these days are really, really hard on themselves and push themselves to say, okay, if I'm going to really do this, I can do this independently, and here's what I need to survive, and here's what I need to put myself in a position to be the best, right? To get to that particular level, again, as we said, it's work ethic. Yes, you can. We're not talking about luck. We're not talking about somebody finding you. We're talking about really sitting down, taking your craft serious, understanding the music business. And yes, you're going to have some hardships on the way down that path, but you're going to have to make sure you have your stuff in order. As you stated, you're going to have a great team, right? That understands your business, your mindset, what you're doing, your music. You're going to have somebody that has the experience to guide you correctly, help you make the right decisions on the way down that path or on the way on that journey. So those are just some of the things. And you're going to have to understand, you're going to bust your ass a couple of times. You're going to fall down. It happens. You know what I'm saying? I always say I never lose, because when I lose, I learn. I take that experience, and I'd rather lose 50 times and learn from it, because it's going to make me better, and I'm going to understand, I'm going to grow. And that's me. Everybody learns differently, right? Yeah. But the main thing for artists is to understand it's not going to happen overnight. Yeah. Like, people just seen the Baby. But I remember when the Baby was performing in Pampers. That was his get up. He used to perform in a big Pamper in North Carolina.
Yeah. South by Southwest. He used to run up and down with a pamper. Yeah.
So when he popped off, people like, man, who is this dude? And I'm like, yo, he's been out for a minute. You guys just heard of him. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a minute for this to really happen. You guys have to be serious about it.
Yeah. What are some big things that you learned going through the stages to where you are today?
A lot of big things, but the main thing that I tell myself is every day you have, in the music industry, 2 things. I don't like failing in life. Like I said, I don't mind failing in life. Like I said, if I lose, I learn. But I try my best not to make mistakes in the music industry, because they're costly. That's A. I understand it's going to happen, but if I do, I try to bounce back. But the second thing, and the most important thing, is in order to advance in the music industry, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is the second most cutthroat business besides Wall Street.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Performances, when you really want this limelight, you're traveling all the time. You're gonna miss the kids. You might get into a show. You got to do a mic check. You got to perform the next day. These people pay their money. You got to record. These producers are demanding. The label wants things that has to happen. Now you're doing interviews, so you got to go do an interview here. Now you got endorsements, so you got to try that stuff out. Like, this is the life you live. It's going to be an uncomfortable life. If you are a person that likes to not be pushed, likes everything organized, likes to be like, this is organized confusion. This lifestyle that you're choosing.
That's a fact. Hurry up and wait.
Our shows are always organized confusion, aren't they?
You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable in this industry.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. The London says here. Yeah, as well. Oh, yeah, it's true. I don't see, someone said even consistency. It's true. I see it, if there's something that you really want in this life, you want to be an artist, you want to be in the label, you want to be a producer, public relations, whatever it may be, you need to push harder and harder and hurry these things. I find the competition is really big out there, but not just that. I think you have to really let everyone know how serious you are as well, because there's like the little people coming up, but it's like, you need to prove yourself. You need to say, here, this is who I am, and I'm serious, and be consistent. Show up every day. That's all there is to it. But like you said, you have to be in the game. Your head has to be there too. You can't just be, well, I want it for the money. How many times does it feel just for the money?
I think that was the quote of the interview. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. Speaking of being uncomfortable, right? Just from your years of experience and working with so many artists, especially on the executive producer side, because the executive producer is you got your hands off from the start to the finish. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
you're accustomed of being the guy that makes sure the project or whatever the situation sees itself through. But since you've been in the industry, man, what's something about the industry that you would change and that you would bring back that we lost, especially with your own imprint and moving with your own situation now?
Well, the first thing I would change is artists thinking that, researching things on the internet and thinking that they educate themselves and they're not fully educated. And the other thing about that is artists not educating themselves enough. Like, I try to do seminars, I try to do classes, try to educate artists on what's necessary. And I don't think, what I've learned is, like, now that even giving out deals and situations, artists really think that, what I've learned is that they're not educated to the point to where they think when they get a deal, it's this, they sign a paper and the music comes out. They really go through shock once we do an onboarding call with Sony, and Sony gives them deliverables. Like, we need everything in WAV format. We need this and this particular pixels. We need all your split sheets from every artist. We need all this stuff. They're like, split sheets? What's that? Like, they really are oblivious to a lot of things. And what I've learned is that they think that when they sign it, it's just, no, that's when the shit gets real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's when the work really starts.
Yeah, like, you want to get paid? Yeah, you better get your split sheets. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know? You got to go back to every producer you work with. You want the song to come out, let them know you got a deal and they got to sign the percentages, or it's not getting in this movie. What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is what happens when you sign a deal.
It got real fast. Real fast.
real fast, right? Like, what? I don't even know how to get in contact with that producer. So, what I would like to change is the educational process. Let them know when you're recording, have your own hard drive, right? Keep your own music, right? Do your split sheets right then and there, because you got to prepare when you're going to get the situation. Because when we're signing you, and you sign, like, I've signed somebody that had a dope, true story. I found an artist that had we make it clap.
Make it clap. Okay.
Clap. I hit him up and said, for Soulja Boy, I said, I love this song, I want to sign you.
Yeah.
He said, for real? Yes, I love it. Let's make it happen. Send the paperwork. Talk to him. Cool. Done deal. Everything's going. I said, all right, what's up? He said, man, that's not my song. I said, what do you mean it's not your song? He said, I just leased it. I said, get him on the phone right now. We're going to buy that beat because we got to buy it. What do you mean? He said, well, we never did any paperwork for it. I just leased it. I said, no, you need to own it.
Yeah.
2 weeks, like I'm talking to him and everything. He called me back the next week. The producer won't answer the phone. I call him again. I'm like, all right, let me talk to the producer. I got the producer on the phone. Cool guy. He was like, man, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah. Talking to him. I really want to work with you, but I can't. Why not? I just sold the song to Soulja Boy. Next thing you know, next week on the radio. And it's gone. You know the reason why that happened? Was because he never took care of his business. And I really wish I was there before to educate him and say, bro, purchase that beat, do the split sheets, get everything in order. So if the answer to your question is the educational process, which is so important, which artists have fought for a long time, and that was so much information out there that they don't take the time to educate themselves, and that's mind-boggling to me that you went in this business and people have been getting shit on for years. Now you got ass load of information out there, but you won't educate yourself on it.
Yeah.
So I would change that process.
Yeah.
I would really make them educate themselves so they don't have to go through the rigmarole and getting burnt or somebody doing them wrong.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Shouts out to you, man. Ownership is power. You know, me being an artist myself, I reached a point in my career where I don't rap on nothing that I don't own. You know what I mean? If I don't own the beat, I'm not rapping on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing nothing, or anybody else that I deal with. That's always my advice as far as management or giving counseling or counsel or whatever the case may be. Always own your tracks. Always try to do your split sheets. You know what I mean? Keep that line of communication open because it's not just rapping. People forget about the music business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a whole nother part of the game that people forget about. You know what I mean? If you could go back and give younger you some advice, Dre, what would you tell yourself, man?
Man, I asked myself that question. I asked myself, would I even go back? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you could go back and change something, and I wouldn't probably be here, but there's a lot of things I would change too.
Yeah.
I would honestly say just really sacrifice more. You know, I would really. It's a lot of things. Like I had to park cars, I had to do a lot of things, but that's why I got here. But I wish if I would have known, I would have parked more cars because there's a lot more people that I would have. Those doors would have opened up for me because those experiences. You know what I'm saying? So I would have parked more cars. I would have went and got the cheesecake again. You know what I'm saying?
Talk your shit.
No, seriously, because me getting the cheese, when people talk to me and say, why are you here? Because I got the cheesecake. Because I knew that I would have got the cheesecake and everybody else going home, but I'm going to sit there with him until 5 o'clock in the morning and pick his brain. And he's going to be like, Dre, he's going to put me on the next opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted it more. So I would have only got the cheesecake more. I would have sacrificed more to do that. And I say that because there's a lot of people that did give me opportunities, but as I began to grow, I was like, man, I don't have to do that. But if I would have done it, it would have opened a lot more doors for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking the risks, taking up. I think doors open in front of us. Sometimes we don't even recognize. Yeah. And sometimes people will just, like, I know coming into the industry, I've been doing this now for a couple of years, but before I got into radio, I knew, like, I have a lot of friends who are artists. And just kind of before I opened up my business back in 2019, where I officially launched in 2020, but before that, they were like, hey, do you want to come to the studio? Do you want to watch us kind of like in action? And so I got to see behind the scenes of it all. And, you know, and if I never did that, I would have just still been really ignorant to the fact of how much work goes into a single beat, how much work goes into even a verse or a hook or whatever, you know, like just this tiniest aspect of music. Like I remember being so ignorant that I thought when someone was doing a duet together, like, you know, male, female, they were in the same booth together, you know? Like I always pictured them, oh yeah, they're in the same room and they're singing and it's all good. And then like, just, you know, the silliest things, and it's because we are so ignorant of it all. But, if I never had that opportunity of just being like, hey, you know, just because I knew someone, it was a good friend of mine for a few years. We were, you know, 5-6 years on Facebook friends, and we finally met one day in person at his birthday party. It's like, yeah, come on over to, you know, the studio and you can meet the producers, you can meet some other guys, some other artists. And it was just like the most amazing thing. And then I got to know more and more people. And then I got onto radio. And then eventually they're like, hey, do you want to interview us? So it really opened up a massive door. And it was just all from like, yeah, just saying, yeah, sure. It's just those experiences and not closing those off to yourself. So anyone who is watching or listening, be wise about your decisions, but don't always say no too quickly.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I love that energy. And that's pretty much kind of lead me into my next question with you, Andre. Leaving that door open. Just your whole journey, man, your whole career. What message? It's a two-part question. What message would you like to say to everybody that supported you? You know what I'm saying? The A1s and the day ones from the very start. What message would you like to give to them? And what message would you like to say to the young artist that's watching this or will hear this? What's the one golden rule you would like to tell him or her? You know what I'm saying? And for somebody that's trying to get in this industry and do it to somewhat your level.
All right. So as far as getting as from an executive side or from a music side?
Both. Because you wear multiple hats. Give it to them straight and uncut. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah. So, man, like, for everybody that, I always say this, man, and the people laugh at me, but I would say even for the people I forget, I'm very grateful and thankful because there's a lot of sacrifices that when you do this, when you're in this music industry. I've missed a lot of birthday parties. I miss weddings. I lived mom's birthdays. I've missed son's situations. I've missed family things. When you decide to do this, like, there's only one way to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifices have to be made. So for me, I hope that, you know, the people that I love and I'm around understood what I sacrificed for, and understood I didn't take it for granted, because it's a lot of stress on your family. It's a lot of stress, you know, on yourself. Sometimes you're doing things and you're sitting there, you could be like, man, I really should be at my brother's birthday party right now. But he's not going to understand if I'm working on this future LP and it got to come out tomorrow. This is a once in a lifetime thing. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, but it's a sacrifice that needs to be made. So that's, again, when you go down this road, that's something that you have to decide, right? For the other question, I know I would tell artists, again, I think I said this earlier, but I would tell them that it's a marathon. Like Nipsey said, it's a marathon. You have to do it right. You know, times are changing. Unfortunately, you have to understand where music is in the evolution of it and sit back, study, and learn it. Yes, there are record labels that are giving out deals. There are people that's investing in you. But the good thing about this music thing, there are people that will invest in you. But the good thing about this music thing right now is you can do it independently. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, which is what you are, invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to believe. The number one reason why people fail is because they never try. You know, if you believe in yourself, nobody can believe in yourself like you. So if you're not doing it, if you come to me and you're asking me to invest in you and you're not investing in yourself, then why should I? If you don't believe in you, why should I believe in you? And that's the main thing I would tell artists right now.
Yeah. Ain't no handouts in this game, man. You know what I mean? Like you said, man, if you can't put money in you, I'm not putting no money in you.
And investment don't got to be money. I mean, investment means time. Investment means everything.
Absolutely.
I'm not just saying financial. I'm saying if you're not believing in you and doing the things for you to win, then how can I believe in you as well?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to make it seem like they say Andre Williams is saying put money. No, I'm saying treat yourself like a business. However you would treat yourself when a business opens up, don't be afraid to treat yourself like that as well. Don't wait on somebody else to do it. You treat yourself like a business.
Shouts out to the coaching game, man. They in here, man. They digging what you're saying, Andre. We got a question. How can an artist educate themselves? What are your suggestions?
Countless research on the internet, and not just the first page on Google. I'm talking about page 55.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about page. No, see, like go on.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
What is a PRO? ASCAP or BMI? But it's more than one PRO. It's ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. How do I get into CSAC? How do you know? What is a split sheet? Well, how do I fill out a split sheet? Again, what are the different kind of situations and deals? What's the difference between a label deal and an artist deal? What's an imprint deal? You know, how do I get distribution deal? Things of that nature. Now, nothing beats experience, but at least, you know, certain things like what do I need to make sure I have as up and coming artists? You need to sign up for your PRO, choose BMI ASCAP, get yourself a hard drive, save your music, little things of that. So researching and then asking people. Now, sometimes people are not going to respond back. Some days, I'm not going to lie, people will hit my inbox and I won't. Some days they'll hit me and they'll ask me a question and I will. You know what I'm saying? We're humans too. You know, we get a lot of stuff. We don't want to go through it. Yeah. So asking people, finding somebody that is in the game that doesn't mind giving you that information. This is the music industry. So information in the music industry is priceless.
That's a fact.
The more you know, the more you're worth in life, but doubly so in the music industry. So if you can find somebody that has that experience, ask them. You know what I'm saying? Be slick. Like, I'll take them out to dinner, talk to them, buy them a drink, pick their brain. You know what I'm saying?
Because people hold on that information in this game like a goose that deliver golden eggs. You know what I'm talking about? Like they holding on to that information. You know what I'm saying? So if you get somebody that's willing to give you that knowledge, such as yourself, that's amazing. So how could an artist get in contact with you, man? Because you got your own imprint and you putting artists in the game, man. You're doing so many amazing things. We talk about the marketing or promotion, helping artists reach them heights, man. So how can they get in contact with you and, you know, and let everybody know all your social medias, your platforms and everything to get in tune with you?
I am Dre the URL on all platforms. I am Dre the URL on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. Just DM me, shoot me a DM. You know, I might not get back to you today, tomorrow, but I will get back to you. I'll hit you up. We'll have a conversation. If you're serious, we'll talk. You know, I'm going to ask you questions. I feel like if I feel like you answer them, you're serious about your craft, then we'll work. If not, then, you know, I won't say no, but I'll guide you to somebody that can help you out better or is at the stage where you're at in your career. But yeah, I am Dre the URL. Send me a DM and I'll get back at you.
Man, that's what's up, bro. We want to thank you for coming on the platform, man, giving us your energy, telling us everything, the jewels. I mean, it is very, very inspiring, man. Shouts out to the Culture Gang. Absolutely, he is on point. Bring him back on the show. The culture that spoke, man. We're gonna definitely have to spin a block, bring you back, man, to dig a little bit more into the culture to give insight on it, man, because it's needed out here, man. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? So somebody such as yourself who has been putting in work for so long, man, on a high level, is dope to have and give your insight on the game, man. So we really appreciate you coming through and giving us your energy, brother.
Yeah, let me know, man. Let me know. Definitely, anytime I hop back on, man, get some more jewels. And whenever you're ready, I'll be here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Thank you so very much. It's like Bigg Wall says, you know, it's very often we get caught up in the smoke and the mirrors of it all. Just because you've worked with amazing artists before, you know, you start getting known for the artists, but at the same time, it's you. You're the one that's helped them.
Yeah, 100%.
Into where they are today as well. So, you know, that's what people need to see too, is like, it does take that team to make an artist, and it's not just the thing behind it. So thank you for sharing your story with us this evening, because otherwise people still don't know unless they're digging deep into the credits of a CD or the pamphlets. You know, you open up Andre, you know, people don't see the backstage of it all. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, and all the jewels. Thank you so much.
Yes, all the jewels. Make sure y'all picking them up, man. Spin the block. Listen to this interview to pick up some of these dope jewels that Dre brought. up and talked about. But we're going to have them back, man, and we're going to dig a little deeper, man. So shouts out to everybody that's been watching. And Dre, again, we thank you for coming on. We ain't going to hold you, man. We know you got some more deals to make. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't going to hold you up too much longer, brother. Thanks for your time, man, and you enjoy the rest of your night.
No problem. Great show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a great night.
You too, brother. All right. Man, now see, that's what I'm talking about right there, Kevin. You know what I'm talking about? When we talk about somebody that can come on a platform and not only give you jewels, you know what I mean, guide you, give you necessary steps that you need to take your career to the next level. That's what we all about. That's why we made this show, to make the connections, make the coaches connect and help it and elevate the game.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing also between, like the music industry, we've kind of already said it from the beginning, but it's full of culture, you know, whether it's the history of reggae, the history of, you know, I just want to say, like, a lot of people don't even realize classical music is actually the base of music. It's like the base of rap and hip hop and everything. Some people don't even know that. So, you know, this is what we're learning on our show.
There's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? It's all a cycle. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah. 100%. Like Andre said, you know, shouts out to Andre again for being on the show. We appreciate you and your time. Like, amazing kind of hard worker. And that's what we need to see. But just like, yeah, you can't, you know, you hear a beat on the radio and you're like, I heard this before. Like, I know I've heard this before. The remixes, and it's it's a bittersweet thing, right? It's a love-hate relationship with those old school mixes because, okay, the sweet part is you recognize it. And then it makes your brain go, oh, yeah, I've heard this before. Where did I hear it? Then you end up doing like your research. Where did I hear this? And you're thinking. So it's good. But at the same time, it takes away from the originality of who that artist is. It's like, well, okay, is that all you do is remixes, or do you have more to offer as an artist, right? So going back and digging back, like I said before, through the interview, get your history. Know the history of your genre. Go back like your ancestors. Go back to like who sang the first song, who did this, who did that, who introduced, you know, these parts to a beat or that, whatever. Find out information. Know your history. Know, like, how serious are you of an artist, because you're putting all that investment into yourself, your time, your money, your energy, all that kind of stuff, as, you know, people should be. If you love your art, you love what you want to do, and you're very serious about it, do it. Put that into it, right? Be serious about it, and find someone like you know, you guys were talking about, go to dinner, go for a drink, go whatever, and just even these conversations, that's why I love our shows. We could sit back, we can talk with these artists and executive producers like Andre, and we can talk to people like that are dancers or singers, and we get the information from them of like, why do you love what you do? How do you do it? And just like those jewels that, you know, and it's like, you don't get that from just watching them dance on YouTube. You don't get that listening to their music. You get it when you take the time to be on a show like this, or to listen to their past interviews, like the Networking Queen. Shout out to Krista again for setting this up.
Shout out to the Networking Queen in the building. The management team, the home team. She does so many amazing things out here in these streets, man. Shout out to her. And we gonna spin a block. We're gonna have her on soon too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't tell me when
it's not supposed to be out yet, but it's okay. it's a culture game. We'll let them know. But you know, she gave me a little clip of Andre's, one of his other interviews, and it was like, okay, this is interesting, because, you know, he gave a little bit of what he gave us tonight, but, you know, I always like to listen a little bit to past interviews and be like, okay, well, what didn't we talk about? Because we don't get the whole story until you dig deeper into
100%.
Your story, right?
100%.
It's cool. I love learning more and more about them. It's just amazing.
That's what it's all about, man, and we're going to continue to give you guys and bring you guys dope people that we know you need to know. You know what I'm saying? That you need to tap in. We appreciate everybody tuning in. The Culture Game was definitely in the building. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tap in with me and Cari. If you have any questions for any of our guests that we've had past, present, or maybe in the future. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Hit us in our inbox, and we would definitely let them know and tap in, man. We might even bring you on the show. You know what I mean? We ain't ducking no smoke. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Jess TV, Jess FM, Calgary, everybody. Shouts out to Roku, SSH 101, 101 on Roku. You know what I'm talking about? Shouts out to iHipHop TV. Shouts out to YouTube, Facebook, all of our correspondents, Underground Radio C, Address the Culture Network, everybody that has tuned in with us. Don't forget about
my other sponsor. We can shout out.
No, the sponsor and the NCG Network, Italy. You know what I'm saying? We can't forget about Italy. You know what I'm saying? Japan and China, and our sponsor that's been holding us down. Shout out our sponsor, man. Tell them about our sponsor, man. He always tapping in.
Wow, we have Ben Queen Fitness is actually my sponsor. He's actually been my sponsor since the beginning of my whole business, but he's kind of like the behind the scenes or whatever, but always there supporting everything we do. We support each other's business. He's in fitness industry. So if you guys want any online virtual fitness training, he's there, meal plans, all that fun stuff. So you guys can hit him up, please. It's important to keep healthy through these times and be able to strengthen your muscles and your brain and everything and your vocal cords.
Health is wealth. You know what I mean? And we trying to stay healthy around here. So again, we thank you guys, and you know the vibes. We're gonna be back next week right here with the same type of vibe, same type of energy, giving you news you can use. You already know the vibes. It's your boy Big Wall.
Your girl Cari.
And this is the Culture Connection. And like I always say, your culture makes you who you are. So make sure they respect it. We're going to catch you on the next episode. We up out of here. Shouts out to the culture gang knowing my catchphrase. You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
We out of here, man. We'll see y'all next week, man. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us. And we got something special for y'all next week, too. You know what I'm saying? We already know. Me and Cari, we're going to see y'all next week. Shouts out to everybody that's supporting us. We up out of here.
All you gotta do is hush, you ain't gotta say much when you make that right connection. If you wanna double up, keep the money in the tuck, I can put you in the right direction. I can never get enough, all I got is us, I speak the true confessions. Everything goes smooth cause I stay on the move and make them right connections. All you gotta do is hush, you ain't gotta say much when you make them right connections. If you wanna double up, keep the money in the tuck, I can put you in the right direction. I can never get enough, all I got is us, I speak the true confession. Everything goes smooth cause I stay on the move and make them right connections.